My name is Louisa, and this is our dog named Ellie.
What are we going to do today?
We're going to plant again. We have been looking so good, but we're planting.
Okay, let's get after it. Hi friends, welcome back to Life's a Beecham. Today we are in the garden. It is spring, sort of, in the Pacific Northwest. This is actually our first nice week of weather, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm trying to get as much planted today as possible so that way they can all be in the ground and enjoy the hopefully 70-degree sun that is coming up here towards the end of this week. We're pretty excited about it. Don't mind my eyes. I have horrible allergies. I just get puffy, itchy, tender eyes pretty much the whole of spring. It is my life. It's what I deal with. But I wanted to show you around the garden. I want to show you a little bit about what we got going on and what my plans are for this year. Keep in mind, I don't know how to garden. This is my second year gardening. Last year was guessing, and this year is guessing 2.0. So come along for the journey, the ride, and if you have any good tips and advice, please feel free to comment. Here is a view of the garden space that I have. Down front here, I have some different flowers planted. I have daisies planted way too close together. I did not realize how much foliage they would have last year when I was just sprinkling seeds like a mad person. So there I've got some wild out of hand daisies, and I've got in a couple of different other things. I don't even remember the names of them. There's the names. I'll zoom in so you can see it because I don't want to say it because I don't know how to say it. But I've got a couple of those there. I've got some lavender here and an array of different, I think this is, this is chamomile here, which is a wild, crazy thing, isn't it? Daisies are the border. Also, these are daisies in just such a huge amount. Oh my gracious, I literally don't even know what to do. I even tried thinning them earlier and it just did not seem to work. And I forget. And I also forget. Isn't that terrible? I really should have written these down. Maybe I have the packs somewhere. This is our sweet little strawberry patch. We don't have very many flowers in here. Those are actually some new ones that I put in. Probably didn't need to do that, but I decided I wanted to just put in an extra one just to help fill it in a little bit more. We'll see how these do. We've got some good little, whoops. We've got some cute little new life popping up all around. So we shall see how these turn out. There's another little cute bright green, cute bright green. I also have my haul of all of the stuff I bought at my local hardware store. These I left outside because they were already outside there. And I probably should have kept them indoors. I think they got a little bit chilly and windburnt. So I don't know if those are completely ruined forever or if I'm not totally screwed. We shall see. Lots of tomato plants. I don't know why. We're not over the top fresh tomato eaters, but I do want to try and can some. And I actually did have a great time cooking with them and also using them fresh this last year. So I think I just decided to dive into the old tomato life. And I got all kinds of different things, cabbage and some dill, I think, chives and broccoli, obviously. That's funny. Yep, that's broccoli. No, it's broccoli rapini. So that's going to be like the broccoli rabe stuff. Is that what that is? That's what it looked like here. All right. Ripens early. Okay, gotta get that in the ground. I'm trying some cheddar cauliflower this year. Has anyone ever done that? And is it good? We shall find out. I've got more tomatoes. I've got zucchinis and squash. And in my other box over on the other side, I've got some spinach. So we're gonna try and get some of that in the ground today. Over here, I have a couple of garden beds. And this garden bed last year, I did broccoli and cauliflower, and even at one point I tried some spinach in it, and it kind of just failed miserably. I'm not 100% sure why, other than I know it doesn't get a ton of sun. About midday to the end of the day, it does get sun, but between the deck and then these beautiful trees of our neighbors, it actually casts some pretty solid shadows. So I think I'm going to focus here with lettuce, and I think I'm going to put spinach down. Sorry, my hand's getting in the way, but I'm going to put spinach down towards the end here. That's going to get the most sun. And I think I'm going to try and fill that with lettuce this year, because where I planted lettuce last year was too warm and it all went to seed pretty quickly. Here, I tried to do corn last year and it got only so high, and I think I didn't have enough nutrition in it and they died off. So I thought this year I'm going to plant a couple of zucchinis in this box and kind of just let them take over and see how that works, because last year I didn't get any zucchinis at all. One of my favorite things in my garden is this border here. This border is just absolutely my favorite. So last year I decided that I wanted to do like a wildflower border, and I filled those with compost soil and a mixture of just like the perennial, the bag, like the $10 bag you can get at Walmart or any garden center, the $10 bag of perennial wildflowers. And I think last year I just had them planted a little bit too late, and so they were okay, but this year they're already popping up, and you can even see here. I'll get a little closer. Look at that. It's so sweet. And they're already this little flower bud thing that's here. These, I didn't even have this till towards the end of the summer last year. So I think this is going to turn out to be really gorgeous here shortly. I'm pretty excited about that. Again, overdid it with the daisies. This is a little border of daisies. I really did not pay attention to the spacing on the seed packet. I recognize this year that you do need to pay more attention to that, because holy smokes, that's insane. Chamomile and calendula, they are wild, aren't they? I did not think through them all the way, because as a new gardener, you just get so excited and start putting stuff everywhere. So I had chamomile, a couple little chamomiles here, and by little I mean, holy smokes, they get so big. So I had these huge chamomiles up here, and then of course it went to seed, and so I'm getting little chamomile spots all over the place, which is okay. It's fine. I'll plant around it. It's beautiful. It smells delightful. It brings in the bees, so we'll be fine. And then back in the back towards here, let me zoom in a little for you. Those are all calendula. I had one sweet little row, and now the calendula has just gone wild. So we've got some calendula coming. And then I have my fennel from last year that's still there. We're just going to keep that in the ground. And then this is my celery. It did not take at all last year. It did not grow forever and ever. And then now it's suddenly growing. I assume hopefully it'll taste fine this year, and does it take 2 years to do it? I do not know the answer to that, but that is what we've got. That was from last year, planting it last year. I've got my tomatoes, a few of them in the ground. This will be filled with tomatoes all down through here. And I recognize that I put them a little bit too close together. I just have a tendency to do that because I'm always trying to get as much in as I can. And then I sort of deal with the pruning and such later. That was my method last year. And honestly, I had a really decent harvest of tomatoes. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for it this year and wish for the best. These are green onions from last year that hardly grew, and I never took them out, and now they've grown. I've already harvested some, and then some of them are going to seed, which is great and totally fine. I'm excited about this. I've already got one in the ground, and I'm going to get ready to get the other one in the ground here. That is artichoke. I have never tried growing artichoke. So we're going to see how that goes in the Pacific Northwest. We offered it at a garden center, so presumably we can grow artichoke. We shall see. This is a pretty sunny spot, and so I'm hoping, I know that it needs some good sun, so I'm hoping that this will be sunny enough for it, and that even if we don't get to eat it, at least we'll get those beautiful flowers, because the artichoke plant and flowers are just so cool. I haven't quite figured out what I'm doing up front here. Last year I did spinach and kale, but I put the kale in pretty late, and it just never really did much, and then it flowered. It kind of didn't give us anything to eat, and then flowered. So the spinach went straight to flower because, like I said, this is where I planted lettuce in here. I did lettuce in here and spinach down here, and everything went to flower pretty quickly. I also did have a row of calendula, and again, they're sprinkled all over the place now because that calendula sure does know how to propagate itself, doesn't it? I've got my garden trellis here, which I absolutely love. And my dream is that it would just be covered in butternut squash and my peas and my beans. But last year, it did not take very well. One, I think I got everything in the ground a little bit too late in the season because we had a very long and wet winter. And then secondly, I was either growing things by direct sowing, or the few seeds that I did start were all tomato plants. So I didn't do any of my own squash. I didn't do any of my own beans, nothing like that. So when I planted anything last year, it was just seed in the ground, direct sowing. This year I actually bought these starts. And so I'm hoping that I'll actually get a better harvest this year. So cross your fingers for me, and hopefully we can get some good sun in before this beautiful tree covers everything up with the shade. I don't know. I might have made a mistake by putting the squash back here again. They might need more sun than they're going to get this year. That's why I'm putting squash in a few different places, because I am curious where around the garden is going to work best. That's what I've got going on today. I'm going to get as much planted in the garden as I possibly can. It's very nice outside, and it's supposed to be really great the rest of this week. So I want to get everything in there, get it ready to go, and then just let them soak up the sun through the week and hope that that really gets our garden off to a good start. So cross your fingers, wish me luck, and if you have any advice, make sure to comment. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share it with a friend. I will be here at Life's a Beecham.